Hello and welcome to Reaper Wargaming, the channel talking all things 40k. Today we're seeing how the Sons of Russ fare with the biggest winners and losers from their new supplement. The rout have been let loose with the new supplement that has seen them shaken up with new abilities and rejigging of psychic powers. The most notable change is Swift Hunters, allowing units with this ability to advance and charge and giving them an extra inch during their consolidation move. A major problem with the Space Force has always been their deliverability, but Swift Hunters breathes new life into certain units. Thunderwolf Cavalry seem to be the biggest winner in this supplement. At toughness 5 and 10-inch movement, they're flexible, but now the ability to advance and charge makes them a mobile threat in an edition where that really matters. Having had a unit of these bearing down on me, I can attest to their unnerving damage output and general threat. With Storm Shields giving them a 2-up armor and a 4+ invulnerable save, and an array of weapon choices, expect to see the hordes of these bad boys on the battlefield. With 4 wounds each and up to 6 in a unit, these guys will be making a comeback in a big way. As a unit that had a mixed reputation in 8th edition, they now have returned to prominence with their ability to advance and charge. A uniquely Space Force unit, it's great to see these have more usefulness now. 12 of these, paired with Harold Deathwolf, will be a sight to behold, or a Wolflord on Thunderwolf rocking either the Wolfkin, Hunter, or Resolve the Bear Warlord traits. Taking the crown as arguably the best Primaris character around, Ragnar remains the auto-take choice for Space Wolves. With 6 wounds, 7 attacks, and a strength 6, -4 AP, 2 damage weapon, he's already incredible. On the charge, he only gets better, with Berserker Rage pushing his attacks up to 10, while hitting on 2s and re-rolling hit rolls of 1 for core units and allowing them to re-roll charge rolls if they're within 6 inches and also consolidate 6 inches. For 130 points, Ragnar is officially a war criminal of the highest order who can blitz absolutely anything. His Primaris keyword makes him a prime candidate for shoving in an impulsor with 5 intercessors being flung up the board. Watch him go from extremely dangerous to murder, death, kill in the assault phase with exploding 6s, and witness what the wrath of God looks like. Harold Deathwolf gained the Swift Hunter's ability, making him a more viable choice while being able to advance and charge, while his aura allows his leadership to be used by Space Force cavalry and beasts while giving core unit rerolls 1s on hit rolls. He reduces damage on himself by 1 as well, and is toughness 5 with a 2-up armor and a 4+ invulnerable, and a weapon that gives mortal wound output on unmodified wound rolls of 6. With a threat range of 16 inches before charging, Harold now has some real viability at 140 points. Arjak personally remains the most single annoying character in 40k, having failed to kill him several times, and him killing my beloved Dante. The pain is real. Unlike all other Storm Shields, his stayed a 3+, with his special Thunderhammer retains a -3 AP. He's strength 5 base while he's hitting, throwing and saving on a 2+, with 5 wounds, while re-rolling wound rolls of 1 for core units. Arjak remains a solid choice for Space Wolf players at 120 points, and a model that can cause significant damage before he's taken down. GW have given the Space Wolves some interesting secondaries to choose from, but the 2 that stand out are Glory Kills for the Purge the Enemy section along with Warrior Pride for the No Mercy, No Respite section. Both are progressive objectives, with Glory Kills giving 2 victory points scored for any enemy character units destroyed during the battle round, or 3 victory points for any monster units. Interestingly, this one still scores you 1 victory point if you didn't kill a character or monster but took 3 wounds off. With the killing potential of Space Wolves, this is an amazing secondary that could easily rack up points, but pales in comparison to Warrior Pride. Clearly it was the intern's day on this one. This secondary nets you 3 victory points progressively if you have 2 or more Space Wolf units from your army in engagement range of any enemy units, or have completed a charge move by the end of your turn. This secondary should be an absolute auto-take, as charging into combat is what Space Wolves are born to do. Having something as cheap as Fenrisian Wolves gaining you 3 victory points a turn for simply doing what they are best at is ridiculously good. Expect to see this secondary taken a lot, with any Space Wolves unit being able to do this. Even the Impulsor could score you these points in your first round. Too good to pass up. Wolfen have changed big time, going up in strength and toughness to 5, but losing the 5-up Feel No Pain, along with the ability to go on the hunt. They can also no longer perform actions, but this is not why you bring these guys. They've retained Death Frenzy and Wolf and Howl, but this has been changed to just reroll charges and can no longer advance and charge, making anyone who's faced them breathe a sigh of relief. As a nasty little extra, they are permanently in the Assault Doctrine if your army benefits from combat doctrines. Still a brutal unit, but nowhere near utterly ridiculous. At a base of 25 points, and in additions changed to Storm Shields and their own rules, Wolfen aren't the DEFCON 1 threat that they used to be, but are still a viable option for fans of them. That being said, they've lost a lot of potency and are a shadow of their former selves. Putting the fun in fundamentally terrifying, Wolfen are gaining strength and toughness have lost a lot of the greatest strengths. While I agree with the changes, I do feel something for these Space Wolf players who use them regularly. They're an iconic unit that have been played very strongly throughout 8th edition. With only a 4+ save, these guys will be picked off much easier unless you invest in a Storm Shield. The fact that you must take a Thunderhammer if you want a Storm Shield is also a little rough. Besides Harold, Ragnar, Arjak, and arguably sometimes Bjorn, most of the named characters don't seem worth it, and seem to pale in comparisons with the points efficiency of these 4. Ragnar is simply too good not to take, and for 130 points, arguably the best all-round character the Space Wolves have. Sadly, this leaves many named characters in the wind or on the shelf. While Niall is an interesting option, you're not taking him over a jump pack Rune Priest with Armour of Russ, whose mobility and cost effectiveness outweighs Niall's abilities. Logan Grimnar, aka Angry Santa, is nice to have as an option, but again, you're not taking him over Ragnar, and with Hunters Unleashed, most Space Wolves are very accurate already, making his supporting role even more redundant. Back to the North Pole you go. A problem that plagued 8th edition remains in that most named characters aren't as efficient or as effective as a generic character with the Wolfenstone or Armour of Russ. And with Ragnar or Arjak in the arsenal, you'd be foolish to choose Logan, Ulrich or Crom over Ragnar. Besides the Armour of Russ and the Wolfenstone, there's not much to write home about. While the Mountain Breaker helm is nice, with its ability to cause D3 mortal wounds on a 2+ to an enemy within 1 inch before you consolidate, it's nowhere near as good as Armour of Russ. Relic weapons abound in the form of Fireheart, a Strength 9, -4 AP, 3 damage plasma pistol with 18-inch range and the thoroughly underwhelming and unscary Black Death, a replacement for a Mastercrafted Power Axe or Sword brought over from the 8th edition Codex. This relic gives you a +2 strength, -2 AP, and 1 damage, and each time the bearer fights, it now makes D6 additional attacks instead of D3. Unlike its namesake, the Black Death will not be wiping out a third of Europe, or being seen in many, if any, Space Wolves lists. With war gear options such as a Power Fist with better strength, AP and damage, I have no idea why someone would pick this relic, or what GW were thinking with this one. With a chapter whose main focus is combat, both of these options are pointless compared to the far superior Armour of Russ, or the Wolfenstone, or other war gear options that do the job much better. Hard pass on both. Overall, the lack of real choice has hampered the Space Wolves, making them more predictable, as almost always you will see the Armour of Russ. It's incredibly powerful on both its offensive and defensive capability, making it too good to not take on a character. Equally, the special issue war gear just isn't that great, especially compared to the Blood Angels items such as Icon of the Angel. This leaves only 2 or 3 real options, making variety a problem. On the whole, the Space Wolves have come out with some good stuff and options for some solid builds. That being said, GW are clearly pushing for players to choose Thunderwolf Cavalry as the premium hammer blow in this edition. The lack of lethal psychic powers and, by playing Space Wolves, you're shut out of the core book's powers is also a bit of a sting. Well, that's about all we have time for. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please like, share and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Take care, and we'll see you next time.